Welcome everybody to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing some ink and watercolor. So get out your pens and pencils and watercolor if you want to art along. This isn't what I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to do Christmassy. Hi Lona. So hope you're all having a great December so far. I know you're probably very busy getting ready for the holidays. Hi, Jilly. And December for a lot of people can be a little bit on the stressful side because there are a lot of preparations and buying gifts and financial stresses and that type of thing. Oh, thank you, Lona. Glad you came to chat. We like lurkers too. So I find that if you're starting to get a little bit stressed, get a book, get a little sketchbook and start doing some doodles or drawings just to get away from that stressful thoughts in your head. Even if it's only for like 10 minutes, do it because it'll help you. I find this is the best release of stress that you can get. And everybody needs that. So, you know, a journal is so great because you don't have to be perfect in it. It's for ideas and learning how to do things. So there are going to be mistakes in it and complete failures and fantastic ideas. And it's always good to look back on those things to see what you've learned through the months or years that you've been doing art in your book. So keep that in mind. And something to look forward to. Don't let it be a stressor in itself, because it's not supposed to be. It's a place to write down your thoughts, to learn things, however you get the satisfaction of releasing some stress. Hi, Janet, Judy, Karen. Awesome. Awesome to see you guys here. A little update. I haven't found out what happened across the street yet. I live in a really small town, so I haven't seen anything on the news or anything. But as soon as I do find out what happened, it looks like the house is totaled. The roof is all, parts of it's caved in, and the one side is completely gone. So they had a truck and an excavator there trying to move the rubble around so they can completely have the fire put out. But yeah, it was pretty scary. I was in bed, like it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden I woke up to this explosion sound. Like it sounded like somebody drove into my house. That's how loud it was. And the dog started barking. I thought, oh my God. I looked up and I could see this pink glow in my hallway. And I thought, oh my God, something's on fire. I went out and there, sure enough, it was the street over, but we don't have fences around here, so you can see right through to the next subdivision or road. And there it was. The whole house was on fire, and it was like the flames were shooting up. It had to be 15 feet high. And I have never heard the roar a fire could make. It sounded like a train roaring by you. It was unbelievable. It was scary, and I sincerely hope nobody got hurt in there. But it must have happened because I didn't see any trucks when I first came out, fire trucks. And it was shortly after I got up that I saw them coming in. But yeah, it was pretty well on its way before they got there. So, and I'm almost thinking maybe 2 houses were involved, because the one side of the house completely gutted right down to the ground. And that would have been close to the other house. So I imagine that was damaged too. But they got the roads all blocked off and everything, so you can't go see. Yeah, it just makes you what I did this morning was change the batteries in my smoke detectors. Like, you don't think about those things, and man, go change your batteries, because holy geez, that place went up so fast in a matter of minutes. So do yourself a favor, and you just don't know. Maybe it started with a wood fireplace, or it could have been a tree with faulty lights. You don't know. Well, Janet, we don't have gas lines here. We only have propane. So a lot of people do heat with propane around here. So I'm guessing that's what the explosion was the propane tank exploding. Oh, you had one in where you live, Julie? Where was that? Is that the one in Kitchener? Are you in Kitchener? Because I know there was one like that in Kitchener, and that's what he did. Actually, my sister lives beside the husband's sister, and she got all this scoop on it. Oh, yeah, we had one. We had one exactly like that in Kitchener a few years back, and that's what he did. He purposely had the propane or gas fill the house, and then he lit a match, and he was going to kill himself and his wife. His wife he had already killed, and they got there. The house was completely gone, but he was blown out of the house into the backyard, and he lived. So he's now in jail. Yeah, scary. It just, I know gas heat is great, but when you see stuff like this, that's pretty scary. I don't know if I'd want gas heating. I think I'll stick to electric. Weird. Makes you wonder if he saw the story and thought, oh, that's what I'm going to do. That's weird, eh? 2 stories the same. Well, enough of that. Let's get away from the horrible things. I thought I would do today some ink drawing, and then the watercolor that you put over top of it. And I love this style. There's different ways of going about doing this. This is Claudia Nice. Her books are great. I love her books. I believe she has some videos with, oh, what's that? Artist Network that you can go watch. And with her, she doesn't use a lot of, I don't know if you can see that. She doesn't use a lot of line. And if there are lines, it's not really dark and thick lines. And she also uses a lot of sepia ink in her work. Like, I just love these. I think these are just amazing. So she uses hatching and cross hatching for the medium shadowed areas. And then the real dark areas, she just basically colors it all in. So I thought, well, I would like to do something Christmassy. So I went out on the, I fell down the Pinterest hole last night, but I did find something. So I thought we could do this. Little mitts on a holly branch with clothes pegs. I thought this was so cute. And we could elaborate a little more in the detail with the pen and ink. So what I'm going to do is draw this in pencil first. I like to use pencil. I guess it's a security thing that I know if it's not going to be right, I can erase it. And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you don't use the really hard erasers like the pink ones that are a little gritty, because that will ruin your watercolor surface of the paper. Okay, so I thought, well, let's try this. So that's what we're going to do. And if you want to do this, you can go on my Pinterest. It's Kathy Arbor, and I believe this is under watercolor and ink or inspirational ideas. You're going to draw along? Great. So I guess I could, let's see, I'll put it here so you can look at it too. Is that okay? So I'm going to put the branch in first. And it's just going to be a very simple drawing. I don't have to get real detailed in this right now, because you can do that with your ink and your watercolor. And then again, it depends on, really how detailed do you want it. It doesn't have to be really detailed. It could be a very loose watercolor with just a bit of the detail in it. So these are really cute to do. You could make them into cards. You could have them for your journal if you're doing journals. A lot of people like to do that. Could be part of your diary. Little clothes pegs here. I'm probably not going to do a lot of detail with the pen. I find that if you do too much detail, it kind of weighs it down, gives it a heavy look. I'll just do a bit. The suggestions of detail, I guess you could say. Okay, so I'm going to put some berries in here. So I'm just going to roughly put the areas where I want the berries. And then the leaf. A leaf in here. Might make this a little more washed out. I might just concentrate some of the area more than others. That's kind of a nice look to do. Berries in here. Overlap some of your berries too, because that looks a little more realistic. Up here. Bring that down here. Let's see, it looks like you can see the side of this clothes peg a little bit. We'll put that in. A little bar that goes across. This one too. We have the ribbons color. Yep. And another leaf here. I think we'll let this be all. So there's kind of an upturned leaf there. Another one here. You can put as many as you want. Let's see. One there, one there, one there, one there. There. Let's put this one. That. Put one in here. I think that should do it. A little mittens. All right. So once you get see, it's just a basic rough, just to show where everything goes. No detail, just to indicate where it goes. Once you've done that, take your kneaded eraser and just take down some of the line so that it's not showing as much. That way, when you put the watercolor down, it's not going to show through as much. Now, some people like to see that, so I leave it up to you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put the background in. Now, you don't have to put the background in if you don't want. This paper is the fluid, hot pressed. I like the hot pressed when you're doing ink and watercolor, because I find the other it's a little harder to do a really nice ink drawing on your other watercolor because it's bumpy. Hey, Gail. All right. So I have my water. I have a brush here. This is a Da Vinci number 16, and it holds a lot of water. So I just want, what I'm going to do is get my paints out. Let's see. Wow. If I can get this over here so you can see. I am going to put my, now you can do this either way. You can either do your inking first or you can do it last. It doesn't really matter, really. I'm going to put my background on first, and I want a fairly loose look to my background. So you want to put a fair amount of water. Just don't go over your mittens. You don't want to muddy them up with the color. I'm just going to do that half. So it's fairly wet. So it's shiny. Try to get all the areas you want. And then I'm going to, where did I put that? I do it more or less like this. I like that background. So kind of a greenish aqua look to it. I actually have, let's see, there is some green here already. And I'm going to concentrate the green more on the bottom here. And I'm just going to dab it. Put a little water with it. Because I know my mittens are going to be red. You can just add a few dabs. And then I have some aqua here. And we're just going to have a blue section here already. So I'm just going to add to that. Add some water. And just dab in. Not too worried. It's going to be a loose background. Okay, and then I'll do the same for this area. Add some water. Here. Here. Add more green. A little bit of green in there. You can add to your background as long as it's still wet. As soon as it starts drying, then you have to wait. Or if you want to get blooms, then you can add some. But okay. On the corners, I think I want a little bit darker. So I have some fairly dark blue that's kind of a muddy blue. I'm going to just put down here. A little bit more green, I think. Just letting it move wherever it wants. Okay. Now I'm going to dry this. Hi, Michelle. Billy Show, yeah. I love her stuff. I got some puddles here. I think I'm going to sop some of them up. I want a whole bunch of blooms. That's what happens when you leave them. They'll bloom once everything starts to dry. So I don't want a bunch. I'm just going to sop these up. Pick them up a bit. Right. So is anyone doing anything special for Christmas art-wise? Flying watercolors. That's always good. Thanks, Nicola. You want this really dry when you start to do your pen work. Because if it's not dry, your pen ink will bleed into your watercolor. That's not pretty. All right, that's good enough. Now, I think I'm going to put in, I think I'm going to do my mittens and everything first with the pen. And then because it gets kind of complicated knowing where the sky is and where the berries and leaves are when you're painting. So I'll put the ink first. And what you want is a waterproof ink. I like the microperm. Now there's many. There's microns are waterproof. There's quite a few different ones out there. Multi-liners. Pigma liner is another one by Stedler. There's also the Graph Ink by Delrani. And there's some pens too. Let's see, this one here is the Uniball Vision Elite, I believe is one that is waterproof. Normally get waterproof. So try those out. And I'm just going to shut this and move this over here for a minute so I can do some drawing. Where did I put that paper? Yes, Janet, you probably want to see that, or whoever's arting along. So who else is arting with me? Now, as you can see, There's no really no ink. This is all watercolor, or I don't know if it was watercolor or acrylic. Could be either. But I'm going to make it an ink and watercolor wash. So I think I'm going to do most of my detail in this area here. So the stick or the clothespins, the top part of the mitten, and some of the leaf and berries. All right. So the one thing about inking too is don't outline. I'll bring you guys in a little bit so you can see what I'm going to be doing. Don't outline your work. You want to just emphasize certain areas. If you outline it, it kind of looks more cartoonish than a realistic look. If you like that look, go ahead. But I prefer using a fairly thin. This microperm is 0.03, and I like lines that are fairly thin. If you want, you can use thicker lines. Really, it's something you have to decide what kind of look you like. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this mitt because I'm right-handed. So I'm going to just emphasize where the ribbing would be on this mitt. The darker areas you concentrate on. I find it looks nicer if you do dots and dashes, basically, because it's just a suggestion of what it is, because your mind can fill in the blanks. So I'm just putting in the areas that would be basically shadowed. So wherever their ribbing would be on the mitten. So I'm just putting lines in. It's kind of a Y look. So you can look up knit patterns if you're not sure how to do this, or just wing it. If you want to do it in pencil first, is a good idea if you're not sure how you're going to approach this. I like to put hash tags, scratchy, wherever there's going to be a shadow, I'll put a little bit more line work. And you can always add more lines after you do your color too. So it's just a suggestion of it. Do the other one. Now, some people like it more detailed. That's a preference to what you like. I just like the ink and wash because it looks, I don't know, it looks more like it's a journal type of thing. And I like that. I love watercolor artists' journals. I think they're gorgeous. Go make a little more in here. A little more concentrated on the edge. Hi, Elaine. You're finishing up your cards? Oh, you did your own cards today or this year? That's awesome. I just like the journal look, the sketchiness of it. I think it looks cute. Yeah, just very simple. And I'm going to go on to doing the tree. Again, same thing. You don't have to do real detailed branch. So I think I'm going to do the berries. I'm just going to do the side that would be in the shadow. So I'm not doing the whole berry. Same with the holly leaf. Just do part of it. Yeah, you could do the shadowing of the berries with either color, your watercolors, or you could use your pen. Or you can do a little both. A little bit more here. Great. Let that, I'll just heat that up to set it. All right. And we'll get our colors back. And a smaller brush. This is the number 8. This is a silver black velvet. And we're going to do a little bit more green. Make it a little stronger. Maybe some of that. Use some more aqua in the leaves too. And a little bit of a darker green also. Not going to be a lot of color in here. And I think I want it to merge with each other. So I'm just going to wet the leaf. And then just add some color and let it do its thing. A little more green in there. And if it goes outside the lines in some of these, I'm not going to mind. So I like that kind of free look. So they're just a slightly darker than the background. Yeah, I get quiet. When I paint draw, I get quiet. Just We will let that dry. Hey, Lena. Yeah, lots of green in it. Jean would like that. Okay, let's dry that up. All right, let's, I think I'm gonna take some of this out. Make some points. There. Okay, well, let's see what we can do with the, let's color this one is. Not sure what color this one is. A light brown. Looks like it'll do. I'll just drop it. It's very loose painting. I am not a watercolorist by no means. I just like to play with watercolor in this type of style with ink and watercolor. Now there's probably a bunch of yous gasping right now, but what I like. Then I'll do a little bit of let's see, let's darken it a little bit, darker brown, a bit of a shadow on the bottom. Don't worry about it, Jilly. You can always use your marker or your pen and ink to make it more distinguishable. All right, let's do some nice red mitts. Let's see, what color should I want? Okay. Now, we want the top. Oop. Oh well. Wait for that to dry. And it leaked. That's fine. I don't mind it. And it'll be a little darker along the thumb area. Just add a little more of a concentrated mix in there. Blend it in a little bit. And the ribbing needs to be a little darker. So just make your mix a little bit concentrated. And then you can just do the areas that you want. Thanks, Elaine. Yep, just loose. Nice and loose. No stress. And I do a little bit of gray in the white part. I got a little bit on my I'll have to wait for that to dry though. And let's put some red in those berries. Again, they don't have to be, definite. You can just drop water in if you want and then put the red in. Let's try that. There. They're a bit dark. Let's take them out. When you take some out, you're almost highlighting it. There. I will let that dry. So far. And then we'll go back in with some pen again. I think we can do the the clothes pegs are a little bit of on the yellow side, so let's get some maybe yellow ochre. Thanks, Joan. Okay, so let's dry that up a bit. Hi, hey, Elaine. Eileen, Joan, who else? Stacks, Ray, good to see you. Thanks, Lena. You got soaking wet. Raining. All right. Dry. I think I'm gonna see what I can do with some more pen. Trying to find point 2 0. This is micro. Let's see how small this is. That's not bad. So we can crosshatch where the shading areas would be. And might be some marks in the wood. Maybe they're old. That one, it looks kind of weird because it's just roughly holding on. You should have put it down further. Do some So I'm just flicking it up, kind of giving it a little bit of curve to it. And then basically cross hatching. Might be little bits of the bark on the tree that's coming up. So the underside of the tree would be a little bit shaded. And don't make the little hatch lines all the same size when you're going around the bottom of the branch. Just looks a little more realistic if it's not even. Little specks, dots, just to give it texture. No notifications, so you might have to ring your bell again. Sometimes they unring it. I don't know why, but it does happen. So we'll just do a little bit of, not a lot, but a little bit of detail in the leaf here. I'm not going to really like define it a lot, but just a suggestion that it is a leaf. The berries, you can make them a little more rounded. And it doesn't matter if the paint isn't around, just use it. Use it for, I like that loose look. So whatever you're drawing, use your pen for the detail, not necessarily the watercolor. Let's make this. And then we'll add some gouache to do some highlights. So I'm just basically putting in some dark shadows on some of these that are close together, because there would be shadowing each other. This is a leaf here, so let's give that a little bit more of a definition here. Maybe I'll just make it flatter. Give it a stem. Shadow this a little more. This is such a neat way of drawing, because it's loose and it's free and it's not as detailed as drawing with graphite. There's so many ways of drawing anymore. It's really what makes you happy with sketching. Do you like ultra real stuff, or do you like just loosely doing stuff like this? I like doing this a lot. I do like the ultra real stuff too, but when I just want to have a stress-free art day. I like doing this. It's very satisfying. Let's see. Hey, Carol. You can get as detailed as you want. Okay, let's finish this up. A bit more line in here. Mittens, I think we could add probably just a few marks going one way, just to show that they're kind of fuzzy around the edges. All right. We'll see just a little bit of, they don't have to be perfect, squiggles. Something very loose. Okay. Now let's take some gouache. There. Just put a little bit on a, this is the Winsor Newton wash. And I think I want a fan brush. Get it nice and I'm just going to flick some water. Show some, and then just to show that there's a lot of snow around. Thanks, guys. We'll dry that. This stuff takes a while to dry. Okay, let's do a little detail on the berries. So put a little more gouache on my tray. Want it a little more concentrated. And we'll just put a smidge on top of the berries. Don't cover up all your pen work though, just to show that it's got some snow or frost, whatever, on there. You have to have it fairly thick, the paint, or especially with this red, because it just bleeds through your white. We could put some on there too. Maybe on the stem. There. Cute. You can add more if you wanted to put more detail if you wanted. It's endless what you can do. But it's fun. I really enjoy that type of drawing. Let's see if I can get the book out. She has many books, many. See, there's one she did for snow. There's not a lot of pen work in there. It's just a bit of trees. The rocks has pen work. And the grass here, that's all pen work. So, you know, it all depends on what you like to do. Something you really have to work on. I love this. See, just a bit of pen and pencil. There's the wood. I love that post. Yeah, so I just thought I'd show you that one. I'll have to do more. I like them. I think they're cute. Then you could put a sentiment, you know, or whatever you want on the side here or down along the mitten. You could write something. If you were at Shauna's stream yesterday, I mentioned in chat about tomorrow is the Silver Beard Art Challenge. And so what that was Dana Tollefson. And if you go, she's a really great artist. You have to go check her channel out. So everybody that's doing the challenge had to do something in silver. So it could be a silver beard or something that is silver, and you could use any medium. So I used, of course, pan pastels and colored pencil. And I did mine on top of a Christmas scrapbook page. So tomorrow, tomorrow at midnight, mine will come out so you can watch it. And I'll show you the picture of it. And you can watch. And it's my version of a Santa's helper. So it shows you how to do the beard in pan pastels, colored pencil, and marker. This paper is the fluid watercolor paper, and it's hot pressed. And the reason why I use hot press is I do like it better if you want to get a real defined line. Hot press is the way to go. You can use other papers if you want. Thanks, Judy. And it is a totally different way of using watercolor. Hot press, the watercolor tends to sit on top a little longer than your cold press papers. So I know a lot of botanists, that does botany, uses hot press for their drawings, illustrations of flowers and stuff like that. Tend to use the hot press because it's a more of a wet onto dry method is what they use instead of wet into wet. Wet into wet is nice with cold press paper, but if you are wanting more controlled watercolor of wet onto dry, the hot press is better. You like hot press, Eileen? Yeah, I do too. Because if I want to draw on it later, it's nice to do. I guess it all depends on the method you want, the look, what type of painting and watercolor that you're going to be doing. So my next, I was going to show you what stencils I bought. Just let me clear this a bit. They did come in. This was because of Colleen. Blaming her. So what I got are these stencils. I don't know if you're going to be able to see these. Can you see that, or should I get another darker one? Maybe it'll show better on this one. Yeah, I do too, Eileen. I use the back side where it's not as much of a tooth to it. Yeah, I love these. I love background stencils, so I think these are awesome because you could use these for trees, for scenes in underwater scenes, for corals, that type of thing, bushes. This was cool. It's a very, very, very fine dot. You could use this for all kinds of shading areas if you wanted to. There's a lot you could use this for. So I got this one and I got the bigger one. There. So I thought these would be cool for shadowing areas even. You could use those. And then this one, the um, I guess this is knitting cable, or not cable, but the knitting sweater type. I like this. I think it's cool. It'd be neat for backgrounds. And I like this one for the unevenness of it. It's very rustic looking, would be great for backgrounds also. And I don't use a whole stencil per se. I'll use parts of it. And I also use them to be used like a stamp. So instead of putting my paint through the stencil, I'll actually place my stencil into the paint and then onto my paper. So you get two types of stencils, a stamp and a stencil. So the negative and the positive. This one I thought was cool too. It's kind of crackly looking. And I like that it's very, it's random look, the shape of it. And the sizes aren't all even. So this will make a great one also. And I love this one. I love her stuff. I can't think of her name right now. I don't know if it's on here. Is this stencil girl? Let's see. Ward is her name. She has some really neat stencils. I like this one because there's so many different sizes on it. You have this one? And I got this one I thought was cool. The birds. You could use parts of this. This would look really cool in backgrounds also. Yeah, Michelle Ward, that's it. So I really like this one. These are all from Stencil Girl. And like I really needed them, but I like this one too. I love this one. It's like a large version of cheesecloth that's been stretched. And this would make a great stamp one. So you just place your stamp or your stencil in the paint, and then you go like this, and it stamps the lines onto your paper. Yeah, it was. And then this is the other one I got of the trees. This is a lot more detailed, I guess. More. Now you could use it either way. You could have, upside down. Could be used as the tree branch, or you could use it as a tree. So these are going to be great. And again, you can use this as a stamp also. Yeah. So next week, I'm not sure. I need some info from you guys. So I need your comments in the below to give me some ideas on what you want to learn next Thursday and in the future, so I can get some stuff together. Do you want to have more detailed drawing classes? Do you want to do more of this type of work? Maybe you want to do something totally different. I don't have to just do drawing. I can do something different. So I need your input to let me know. And I will be doing more of the mixed media art journaling in the future, but those will be edited videos that I'm putting out, and they're shorter. Give me some information on what you would like me to do videos on. Mind you, they're not going to be long videos, something I can edit. More like today, this type of, so the ink and watercolor. Book inspired art. Okay, so like a how-to, Judy, book, kind of like when I did that apple in the collage. Oh, the stencils are all Stencil Girl stencils. Okay, Judy. Oh, like today. So out of that book. Yeah, we can do that. And there's also a lot of books, as you well know. No, not that. Oh, where is it? Stuff like this too. There's the artist drawing techniques. So different techniques, how-tos. That's what you're. Yeah, I can do more of these. These are fun and they're easy to do. So maybe there's something you want to learn how to draw. I like it all, drawing, painting, whatever. Thanks, Ray. That's right. If you're gonna join me with how-to books, you have to buy the book. Perspective. Okay. Perspective of what though? Like there's so many forms of perspective. Stencils. The stencils are from Stencil Girl. Love the ink and watercolor mix. Okay. We can also do some acrylic. Anyone interested in acrylic painting? I do love doing acrylic painting too. I have problems with depth. 3D. Okay. So like when you're drawing something that you're seeing or a picture of, or are you thinking drawing from memory? Acrylics are best. Yes, I know, Eileen, you love acrylics. Oh, good. A lot of you like acrylics. Okay. So we'll do some acrylics, maybe some canvases. I know I do want to get some canvases done. Backgrounds, that type of thing, clouds. Do you want me to do how to draw certain or how to paint certain things, like how to draw skies, how to draw grass, how to draw water or paint water, that type of thing? Or do you want me to do a whole scene or whatever? I just want to get things in line, so I know what to set up for and what to research. I like to get my streams organized. Whole landscape scenes. Okay. Yeah, we can do landscapes. All right. It's good information. Pastel color book page. Pastel color book page. You know what? I don't think I have a pastel book. Come to think of it, I don't think I do. An organized dream? I'm just weird. I got OCD when it comes to that type of thing. Because I don't want to waste your time of me going around finding things and that type of stuff. So I like to have all my stuff ready. I've always been that way. And I was one of the kids in school that used to be there extra early. All right. Well, I guess I'll let you go because my dogs are starting to whine upstairs again. And be sure to tune in tomorrow for the video and go to Dina's channel and check out all the other people that are going to be doing the hashtag Silverbeard Art Challenge. And we'll see you next week, and we'll probably be doing some more of these then. So we'll get into more of this type of work and cross-hatching, that type of stuff. So the pen work. And you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you in somebody's stream, I'm sure. Thanks, Judy. Have a good day, everybody. Bye for now.